Now, these are 5 money red flags as far as the relationship is concerned. Or should I say, these are 5 money red flags in a relationship. And if you can identify them as early as you can, guess what the importance? You can be able to find the solution and never become a victim of such an eventuality. This is good, Joseph. And as far as the money touches anything, or as far as anything touches issues to do with finances, I come in and I talk about it. This is good, Joseph. In case you're watching me for the first time, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you leave a comment on the comment section. And by the way, don't forget to leave a comment on the comment section, because ask me a question and I'll be able to respond to that. Now, here we are. The first red flag is avoidance to financial topics. Let me tell you one secret, my guys. Yeah? If you see somebody avoiding, avoiding of financial talk, if you see somebody don't want to talk about money, if you see somebody you try to raise a topic about money, see, when I say talk about money, it's not necessarily asking them how much you earn. No, actually, I don't think it's even important to ask somebody how much they earn. When you see like you want to talk about investments, you ask them who do they follow on the social media. Do you have anybody whom you follow as far as the finances are concerned? Oh, and by the way, do you have a mentor who shows you how to go about it? Not because, you see, people tend to confuse that. If you ask somebody what to do with money, like people tend to think like, you know what, I don't need anybody to tell me about anything as far as the money is concerned. Now, that is not a so smart person. Are we together? Even me, I do consult. Even me, excuse me, I talk to people and ask them questions. So if you see somebody avoiding this financial discussion, there must be something that is being hidden there. And actually that should function as a very big red flag being waved in front of your eyes. And you're supposed to be very keen, cautious, and careful. Find out why they're actually avoiding this particular topic. Are we together? So this is actually and when I say avoidance, this is when you guys, let's say you're in relationship, you are planning to maybe, let's say, getting a wedding or maybe marrying each other or something like that, or maybe you're already in a marriage. And the moment you bring forth this particular topic, there are always some wrangles. You ask them, hey, guess what? I gave you this cash now. I think this as da 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 da. You know what? You make this amount of money. All your money you drink. All your money you do this. All you do that. The moment you tell somebody, be recording how much you consume. Be recording, note this one down. Know how much goes in. Guess they feel like you are giving them so much big burden. That is actually a financial red flag. And if you can identify that problem and you work towards you actually finding a solution over that, then that can actually be the best thing that you can ever do. That is person, or that is actually a red flag number one. And red flag number two is you find these individuals who have what we call high appetite of unhealthy debt. High appetite of unhealthy debt. What does that mean? High appetite of unhealthy debt. There's nothing, that's why I had to say unhealthy. You know, there are healthy debts and we have unhealthy debt. So my Bible tells me that the borrower is always a slave to the lender. But anyway, the point is there are that debt that you can actually use to grow yourself. But this individual has a has a high appetite of unhealthy debt. And what are the examples of unhealthy debt? Number one, this person is borrowing to buy food. It is wrong. This person is borrowing to pay school fees. It is wrong. This person is borrowing to buy carpet, to buy a chair, to buy things, we call them the consumables, things that are not investments, things that are not. Sure, I know you may tell me on the comment section, but you know they are borrowing to buy food because that it is true they are facing difficulty in finances. That's true. It's also true that is not a good debt because you're borrowing to fund a consumable, and that consumable does not generate any income. And that is where now we are drawing the line and say that is a red flag. If you find somebody and then you're trying to tell them, hey, you know what, stop borrowing this unnecessarily. You can't borrow to buy a dispenser. You can't borrow to buy a very nice fridge. You can't borrow to buy a carpet. That is not really a good way to go about it. We usually borrow. You can't borrow to buy a phone. Nowadays in Kenya we have these phones, we call them lipa mdogo mdogo, or M-Kopa, or not M-Kopa, copper and something like that. Listen, you borrow for something that is adding value to you. You borrow to buy something that is actually helping you to take yourself to the next level. Probably you might say, I'm a content creator and I have a business and I need good phone, so I'm borrowing this phone to record nice videos of my product to sell them online. Beautiful. That one I support 100%. But if you're just borrowing to appear good and at par with your peers with this kind of a phone, then that is unhealthy debt. So if you find somebody actually has a very high appetite of unhealthy debt, then, oh my goodness, if you can walk away, I said if you can walk away, if you're not in a situation of a marriage or something, if you can walk away, I will tell you just walk away and never look back, because that can actually lead you into a problem. I had a certain story I was reading on the newspaper. A certain lady, you know, in an African setup, of course, man is the one who provides 100%, of which I 100% support it. And then you find this lady, you know, was being left with some cash and running a business somewhere. And then this lady who had a problem of betting. That's another red flag. I think I should have said it as the third one. Somebody who is betting and gambling. Actually, I should put it. It wasn't in my list, but I can even put it out here. Somebody who is betting, or should I say gambling. Are we together? This is someone who has a problem with financial. You find somebody is actually, you know, somebody is telling you that, hey, you know what, the money that was meant for, you know, food or whatever, it has actually gone with gambling. You know, that money was meant to buy food today, now it has gone to the gambling. I thought if I gamble, I will win, and then we could have a very nice supper. So if you somebody is struggling with this, by the way, ladies, gentlemen, if you find somebody nowadays, both genders are gambling a lot. So if you find somebody has already been swallowed into this thing called gambling and betting, I am telling you, my friend, my dear brothers and sisters, if you're already in a marriage, you really need a very big deliverance. And if you're not yet into a marriage and you're about to marry them, please, can you run and never look back? Because this has actually resulted to big problems. If they cannot be able to result into it, but if you have the ability to change them before you get yourself into the union of marriage, maybe you handle them and tell them, hey, you know what, maybe you might see a psychologist, a counselor or something, work on yourself, avoid this, avoid this. Reason why most of the people tend to get into this gambling, number one, they don't have any financial literacy. They really don't understand how the money works. They think like it's just a game, a chess game or something like that. Or probably these guys are ignorant, okay? And in most cases when people are ignorant, they tend to be arrogant. And you've never seen the best combination of being ignorant and you are arrogant at the same time, because you can never be taught. If you get somebody being in this, that is a big problem. For example, how can you identify somebody is ignorant and arrogant at the same time? Ignorant, they are ignorant in the sense that that money that they are betting is not the right way to invest. So they are ignorant. They know it is not, but they say, hey, you know what? I just want to do it. So they are ignorant. And then at the same time, they tell you, it's my money. Don't advise me. I just want to do whatever they want to do. True, it is their money. And of course, they have the right to do whatever they do. But now that is a sign of an arrogancy person. Are we together? So now, in that situation, if you get somebody who is being swallowed or consumed by betting, oh my goodness, run if you can, where possible. I didn't say you go get out of your marriage. No, I said where possible. By the way, are you getting any benefits of this particular thing so far? If you have and you have not subscribed and you have not liked the video, come on, come on, come on, just do it. Just thank you. Now, we go to the third one, okay? They have this problem of remotely controlled by their family members. Remotely controlled by their family members. Controlled by family members. What do I mean? You find somebody is an adult. And of course, when you're an adult, it's assumed that you're able to make your own decisions. Well, sure, you can consult if you need or if it is necessary. But as an adult, when you want to do something with your partner, of course you do it. You discuss with your partner. And if it's you have to involve somebody, then you can bring a professional on the board. But you find these people, they cannot make any step. You're about to buy a car. Hey, my mom has to know. You're about to buy a piece of land somewhere. You know, your father has to know. You know, you have to buy a certain thing, you know, a fridge or freezer or whatever the thing it is, your sister has to know. Like this person is being controlled remotely. And if this person does not inform their family members that they bought this on that, it becomes issues. And then you are there, you're just hopeful that, hey, things will change. They won't change. You know, the problem with you people, you are hopeful on things that they can't change. And that's why I keep on telling you, hope is never a strategy. You're just hopeful. Oh, he or she will change. Oh, he or she will change. Some things don't change, especially the ones that I'm talking with you here. But if you meet somebody who doesn't know and they are ready to... You see, let me tell you one secret. If you find somebody who has a weakness and they admit that they have a weakness and they are ready to be taught, it's okay. You can stay with that person. that person can change. But now if you be with an individual, especially somebody who is already in a cult, can you imagine? You know, nowadays we have a lot of religious setups that are actually occults. They are cults. Even if you try to change that person, they can't. First of all, they don't admit that they're in a cult. Second, they cannot be told. Because the first step of your change, it starts with the acceptance. So if they cannot accept they're being controlled by the family members, the moment you tell them, must you tell your sister before you do something? Then they tell you it's my sister. Then they tell you that's my parent. They brought me up. So see, they are bringing them telling you that that is mother, that is my father. It is true, but it is an irrelevant example to our discussion. It does not marry each other. So you find that somebody is being affected by stupidity. And let me tell you one thing, stupidity is the hardest thing you can ever change, because even a stupid person, for him or her to learn, they must first accept that they are stupid or they don't know and they are ready to learn. But there you are, you know, they have seen all these qualities, you've seen these characters, but there you are just clinging and you are hopeful things will change one day, a miracle will happen, a miracle will happen, a miracle will happen. True, miracles happen. I agree, miracles happen, but the reality is, even the person miracles to happen must be intentional. You have to be intentional. Everything has to be intentional. That's why I always tell people, please, when you see somebody is being controlled remotely by their family members, it's a red flag as far as the finances is concerned. It's a red flag. You people will never make any decision as two of you. You always be controlled remotely. And this happens in either way. This one I can even speak for it like a whole hour. I can make several videos out of this topic because it is very, very serious. And number 4 or number 5, should I say? Anyway, I added this one, so I'm on number 5. And number 5, it's an ability to say no whenever a money request pops out. Inability to say no. Inability to say no. It's actually a red flag. And that's why I've met a lot of couples on discussions on finances. And you find one per couple or one person is saying, hey, you know what, this fellow of mine, is so kind. Everyone is taking advantage of them back at their family members and something. And the guy or the lady is not seeing, but your kindness being taken for advantage. There's nothing wrong with the helping. I 100% support it. But now the problem is you find this person is of a kind. And the moment you become kind with the current one, remember, my Bible tells me during those ages or during that time or during the end times, people will become selfish, disobedience to parents, arrogance, all those kind of things. So the moment that part of the selfishness, the self-centered, is when they realize somebody is so good, they can give you money at any given time. Now they take advantage of you. By the moment you get somebody who can give you anything at any given time, you should worry about that person. For me, if I get that an individual, I get scared. Because I don't know what can I repay this person with, because he's too good or she's too good. What can I repay? I avoid as much as I can to ask something from that individual, and I actually pray for that individual to never be taken advantage of, because he or she can be taken advantage of. That is when you say, or when you have the inability to say no, because at times you need to say no. You'd be like, you know what, no, that can't work for now. No is a complete statement, and most of the people fear to say no because they fear of losing friends. A time comes when you have to do that. See, especially when you're growing, you need to have the ability to say no. And the last one, I don't want to make this video too long, is this individual has zero financial literacy and is not ready to learn. This person doesn't have any financial literacy, and guess what? They're not ready to learn. They believe that nobody should tell me anything about my money. So the moment you get that person, just let them be. They can only learn by their own experience. That is good, Joseph, as always. If you need my services, don't forget, that's my number out there. You can shoot me a call, a text, or a call. Then we can be able to talk about business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.